and putting players in their place if they ever stepped to him, literally.
Lambeer, the quick foul call. Oh, punches thrown. Robertson and O'Neal.
Bob, watch the power. He just overpowers him, and he comes down, and then he shoves him right there.
Take that Shaq up fast.
Oh, and there's a swing by O'Neal, and they got a blue.
Beyond his success as a professional athlete, the Diesel has also won hearts outside of the court too. For one, he's seen as an extremely generous guy, evidenced by the countless wholesome clips of his interactions with fans, and is no stranger to donating to children's hospitals and funding college scholarships. Then of course, there's his stellar transition into the world of Hollywood, where he would go on to drop a platinum album and lit up movie screens for various titles. Beyond that, there's the fact that he can make anyone crack up at a moment's notice.
You know what she says?
What does she say?
She says, even though I'm Spanish, you know I like that chocolate.
Oh!
I said, for real?
But does that work? No.
And I tell her, once you go Shaq, you never go back.
But what if I told you there's a much darker side to this man than you might have thought? Both during and after his career, Shaq was no stranger to controversy, and in many cases, he welcomed it. From the scandals that haunted him off the court, to the wild pranks he pulled on teammates. It's your boy Luesta, live from La Hoopsta, and today we're diving into the dark side of Shaq. And what better way to start than his feud with the man who he won 3 straight NBA championships with. But before we get into it, let me hit y'all with today's sponsor, Raycon.
Oh, you know what? Shout out Raycon.
It's Raycon's
I've made
anniversary.
some money off Raycons before. Shout out Raycon, man. Y'all know I'll be doing the reselling shit and all that.
After leading the Magic to the 95 finals, Shaq turned down a $54 million extension, calling it a lowball offer, and instead demanded a whopping $115 million. But considering that he had what many would consider an unstoppable build, and could elevate any team's performance by his mere presence on the court, any team in the league would have given him anything in order to have him play on their roster.
I just closed my eyes and I said, God, please.
I'm just holding one whole muscle, right? The rep ain't calling. Rep, call it. Shit, call it. Like, call this.
As a human being, he's not supposed to move like that.
You saying Shaq? Everybody in here is supposed to say Shaq.
And the 96 Lakers, who were in a pretty tough transition after the Showtime era of Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and James Worthy, jumped in with a $120
One thing I
million.
know about Shaq, I've never seen nobody call out Shaq on his shit. Like, they gotta be scared of that nigga, bro. Like, nobody, you don't never see nobody calling out Shaq on his shit. Like, that time where he was talking about Kyrie Irving, that was when I knew. I'm like, oh yeah, this nigga Shaq Boulay for real.
Offered to grab the big man. At the same time, they brought in the 17-year-old Kobe Bryant, who was straight out of high school after he was drafted by the Hornets and then traded over. From the outset, they looked like the perfect 1-2 punch, and that was definitely the case, as they went on to win 3 straight NBA titles and created timeless highlight reels.
Get the ball.
Bryant trying to shake off snow. Here's Bryant. Kobe going 1, 2.
That has being bigger and better than he has to be in the series.
Hey,
Giving it up.
hey.
Their 2001 playoff run is still seen as one of the most dominant ever, losing only a single game the whole postseason as they earned an astonishing 15-1 record. All the while, both of them stacked up all NBA defensive team honors along the way. But the truth inside the Lakers' locker room was a lot messier. During their championship stretch, the two superstars would constantly clash heads, even getting into physical altercations during practice sessions. There's a few reasons for this. Kobe, for one, was already getting a reputation as a ball hog. His style of play often meant that he rarely passed the rock, which quickly became a problem for Shaq.
Coming back to me right now, there's also a game in Phoenix. My first year we were playing, and he kept posting up, but they kept fouling him, so he kept going to the free throw line and kept missing them. And so he'd throw the ball out to me. I'm not throwing that shit back in there.
You gonna miss the free throw.
So I kept shooting him, right? So we get in the timeout, and he's like, hey, I'm open. I'm like, okay. And so we go out, same thing, come, hey, I'm open. Okay. There you go. Come back in, hey, dude, you got to throw me the ball. I said, man, that, get it off the rebound if I miss, bro.
And it wasn't long before the big man dubbed his new teammate Showboat, meaning someone who flashes their skills, plays.
You're a big man. You're a big monster down there, bro. But you're missing free throws, nigga. So I'm not gonna give you the post up for the foul, nigga. If I make the shot, we up. If I miss, snag the fucking board, bro. You're a fucking 7-foot beast, bro. Think about on 2K, we be snagging boards and shit when you got a certain build. You think Shaq wasn't that build? Nigga, I'm 5'11" and I be snagging boards, bro. So I know Shaq could have snagged some boards. That nigga didn't want to work, bro. Nigga was lazy. But let me give it to me. I'm open. Why would I pass to you when you open if when I pass you the ball, they're gonna hack a Shaq? Okay, you might get a bucket every once in a while, but nigga, you didn't went to the line and miss 0 for 8. Nigga, get your shot right. Why you can't make free throws? Like,
Flashy.
what the hell?
It focuses more on style than teamwork. But in Kobe's defense, Shaq couldn't shoot to save his life. And in turn, it made sense that he wasn't as eager to pass him the ball unless there was a clear and open lane for a dunk.
Right.
Like many centers whose play style relies on their explosiveness in the paint, Shaq's inability to make shots outside of it was an issue for Kobe to deal with. In fact, throughout his entire NBA career, Shaq missed 5,317 free throws, making him the second NBA player with the most missed free throws in history. And while you might expect that the Superman was gonna at least work on his skills, Shaq couldn't care less for reasons he internally rationalized.
We talking about practice? Did I work hard in practice? No, never. And I'm gonna tell you why. The guy that I'm playing against, they're under me. So to try to show that they're worthy of being an NBA player, they would touch me up. So it's my philosophy, I'm not gonna get touched up twice. I'm not gonna get beat up in practice, and I'm not gonna get beat up in the game.
While Kobe had to spend 10 hours every day just to maintain his performance, Shaq's biggest advantage was simply his size, which let him bulldoze anyone in his path. But that difference in work ethic quickly turned into a problem that was a nightmare to solve. When Shaq couldn't move at full force, he was basically useless on the floor.
Garbage.
And that's exactly what happened in 2001, when a sore foot kept him out for part of the regular season and even sidelined him from the All-Star game. The pain grew even worse throughout the Lakers' playoff run in the summer of that year. But during the summer break, Shaq would go on vacation while Kobe kept training hard in the gym. Then, when it was time to get back in the game, Shaq would return overweight and out of shape. With all that extra load on a sore foot, things started to get ugly real quick, as Shaq wouldn't be able to perform on the court like he used to. At this point, Kobe felt like he was basically carrying the Lakers all alone. And to make matters even worse, Shaq felt that the perfect time to get surgery was in the middle of the season, which means he wouldn't even play at all, missing a complete 15 games. And what's even crazier is that Shaq didn't seem concerned about his situation, often making jokes out of it. I'm a big 18-wheeler, and one of my wheels ain't working, which means I can't go. But I'm getting the air in the tire. I mean, knowing you are
$100 million endorsements, that nigga don't give a fuck. Like Kobe probably was getting money too, but Kobe loved basketball. I feel like Shaq ain't give a fuck about no basketball. Like, I feel like he just didn't give a fuck. I feel like that nigga was just good. He won a ring. Oh, I'm Shaq. I'm Boule. Let me throw this shit on your face. I'm Shaq.
Core player on your team, and not taking yourself seriously was not a good look. But the Diesel would even go as far as claiming as he was right to get the surgery during the season. Since I suffered the injury on company time, why shouldn't I also be able to get surgery and do recovery on company time? Nobody's played more basketball than we have in the last 3 years. So if I had to do it all over again, I would do exactly what I did. Making this type of statement without any remorse was wild, especially considering that Kobe, who was just as important to the team, had previously stayed in the games with even more serious injuries. I've played with a broken hand, a sprained ankle, a torn shoulder, a fractured tooth, a severed lip, a knee the size of a softball. I don't miss 15 games because of a toe injury that everybody knows wasn't that serious in the first place. And when Kobe finally got fed up with Shaq's excuses and was all over his antics, he straight up called him out for his lousy work ethic.
He said that Shaquille O'Neal, he was referring to, he said, the guy selling donuts at the 7-Eleven had more pride in his job than Shaq did. And this was the same interview that he had gone public calling him fat and lazy.
And when Shaq finally saw the interview, he was furious and even threatened to unalive the Philly star.
I called Shaq before this interview came out to give him a heads up because I really like Shaq and I enjoyed covering him and we had a terrific relationship and he didn't want to respond. And then it came out and he threatened to kill Kobe the next day. In fact, they put in a metal detector over there and Kobe jumped up and said, let's fight.
In a recent interview before he passed, eventually, Kobe admitted that he knew exactly what to expect when he initially made the remarks in the original interview.
I knew the fire that I lit. I knew what I said. And you knew what he said. You knew what you said. And you said, okay, this is it. It's coming to a head. We're going to go in here. We're going to be grown men about it. We're going to fight it out. And
And then what comes out of it comes out of it. And that's just is what it is at that point.
Although the fight never happened as planned, Shaq still wasn't entirely cool with Kobe, and he made it obvious when Mamba was wrapped up in legal troubles. For those who don't know, Kobe Bryant was once accused of R-wording a woman in July 2003, when a 19-year-old hotel employee in Edwards, Colorado, accused the NBA star of sexual assault. A year later, the criminal charges against Bryant were promptly dropped, after the woman decided not to testify. Although she later filed a civil suit, which was settled privately for an undisclosed amount in March 2005. The whole thing led to one of the darkest times of Kobe's career, and is part of the reason why he eventually dubbed himself as the Black Mamba afterwards. Back to Shaq. After not supporting him through that tough time, Kobe understandably thought it was strange for someone who's often referred to as his big brother to unfortunately not live up to the title. He is not my quote-unquote big brother.
Yeah.
A big brother would have called to lend his support
Shaq
this
a
summer.
old nigga.
I
He
heard
just-
absolutely nothing from him. I spoke to Rick, Mitch, Phil, and our owner, Jerry Buss.
Hating-ass
And Shaq's
coworker.
own uncle Jerome called and left 3 messages. So did a lot of coaches. Michael Jordan, who didn't even have my home phone, tracked it down to lend his support. So did Tiger Woods. But yet my so-called big brother, I heard nothing. At this point, it's obvious that the duo couldn't remain on the same team anymore, leaving the Lakers with the difficult decision of choosing.
Then a nigga wanna, I ain't gonna lie, well, your relationship with your brother, he could feel how you feel about his brother, bro. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, or he could feel how you feel about his relationship with Kobe. Like, I just don't be liking how the internet and growing up, it made it seem like these niggas was just hella cool or something, bro. Like, when you get older, you just learn about, or even after he passed, like, you know how much money. Nah, I ain't gonna talk about that shit.
Choosing which one of the superstars they would carry for the
Niggas
future
made it
of the
seem,
franchise.
my best friend
and
Kobe
they finally
after he
came to a
passed. No,
conclusion
nigga.
after losing
He
to
ain't
the
fuck with
Detroit
you.
Pistons
Kobe
in the
ain't fuck with you.
2004 NBA Finals, which Bryant made it clear that he doesn't want to play with Shaq anymore. I ain't playing with that motherfucker again. After
right.
getting traded to the Miami Heat in 2004, Shaq still wasn't done with
Black
tormenting
ass
the
nigga.
Black Mamba, often telling the public that Kobe wouldn't win a championship without him. This would seem true for the first couple of years, as Shaq would bag his 4th ring without Kobe in 2006. He would then rub it in at a nightclub just days after Kobe and the Lakers suffered a brutal loss to the Boston Celtics in 08.
Kobe, how my ass tastes. Everybody, Kobe, how my ass tastes. Yeah, you couldn't do it without me. Kobe, you couldn't do it without me. Kobe, you can't do it without me. Everybody, Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes. Yeah, you can't do it without me. Yeah, you can't do it without me. Yeah, you can't do it without me. Everybody.
However, fueled by his hatred for Shaq, Kobe would lock in and lead the Lakers.
I ain't gonna lie. That was a little ill beat right there.
To back-to-back championship titles
That
the
was
next
an
2
ill
years,
flow,
proving
too.
that he could indeed win without Shaq. And he would revel in this accomplishment when they linked up for an interview years later.
Do you think I was pissed when you got number 5?
Of course you were.
Oh,
No
heated.
doubt.
I told my house up.
No doubt. I bet you did.
No, I went crazy. Because when I got 4 and you got 4, I was like, hey, I got 4, he got 4. I was like, when you got that 5th one, and then hold on, you said, I just wanted to get one more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
TVs.
Yeah. I said, you know what? There ain't nothing he can do about it either.
Even though niggas be going at it and falling out and fuck that nigga, sometimes, like, I'm not saying I wouldn't have a conversation with niggas I done fell out where I don't talk with no more, but that shit just don't be as cool. I don't know, bro. Like, niggas don't be as close as they making shit seem, bro. But at least they hash the shit out. I forgot about that.
I know what it means as a team, but what about individually for you?
Just got one more to Shaq.
I don't think I could have won 3 with T-Mac. I think I could have.
Yeah, for sure.
T-Mac was a bad boy.
But Shaq's need to assert dominance wasn't just reserved for superstars, because while Kobe had the confidence to stand up to Shaq, there were other players, particularly rookies, who found themselves at the mercy of the Diesel.
We used to always play jokes. Shaq is a jokester. So if one of the rookies would be in a stall, he would take a bucket and use the bathroom in it for about a week. And then all of a sudden he'll pour it on them.
Joining a new team and being
For a week? Bro, I'm finna try to kill you for the rest of my life.
treated with such a diabolical prank is the type of welcome you'd expect from someone like Shaq. And this wouldn't be the only time he would completely defile a rookie
Gouge your
with human
eyes out,
waste,
something gotta-
especially
you gotta-
anyone who
something gotta
refuses to do his bidding.
But I remember one time he asked Devin George to do something, and Devin didn't do it. And so, Devin, was late, didn't do it, whatever. So Shaq, all right, cool. So the night before we had a game, Devin's, I think on the court, shooting, whatever he's doing in the training room, whatever. So Shaq goes in the stall, and he takes a shit in Devin's shoe.
Oh my God.
And so he takes it and he knocks it, so it goes all the way down to the front of the. And so Devin comes back, goes put his shoe on Dre, and he stuck his foot in some.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
That was crazy.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, Shaq is wild.
Wow, he's crazy. Super wild.
Devin George is a rookie at that point?
Yeah.
Dude, he probably devastated. Wow, that's brutal, man.
In a recent interview, Devin George confirmed what really went down.
Okay, I gotta ask.
Yeah.
What? Did Shaq really take a dump in your shoes?
Hell no, that's a lie. That's cap. And I know T. Lou started that, or somebody said T. Lou said it.
Yeah.
That never happened. He never did that.
So
I think he did that to somebody in Orlando. I don't remember the dude's name, but he did that in Orlando.
Whether it was Devin or someone else
said
entirely,
it wasn't me.
there's a high
Nigga ain't
chance
do
of the
that to me.
situation being true, considering
for sure.
Shaq's reputation in the NBA. Plus, according to stories from his teammates, the big man wants to glue Amundsen's mouthpiece and toothbrush, and let's just say that he crossed the line.
Shaq walking around the locker room naked is nothing, though. But he's walking like around the locker room.
Wait. Hey, yo. In my Jada Kiss voice, cause bro. So he trying to assert, bro, he's a freaky weirdo. Bro, these are the type of niggas you run into in the military. You run into niggas like this in situations where you can't really defend yourself how you want to because y'all all under some type of fraternity order or jurisdiction, because all of these should be just different orders. Bro, and Shaq, he know what he doing. He's psychologically fucking, that's some occult shit, bro. I don't care what nobody say, bro.
Real tight, he walking real slow, tight, walking like that. And he pulls a mouthpiece out his ass and he puts it in the locker. And he told us, he said, listen, he said, y'all better not say shit either. Takes a broom, he takes the Lou's toothbrush. He go take a shit and he stirs it in shit.
Attempting to play this kind of prank to a fellow teammate is completely diabolical, but it gets even worse.
Lou Armisen checks in the game and he puts the mouthpiece on and everybody on the bench loses it. Everybody loses it, right?
Oh my God.
So he's playing, he comes to the locker room, he takes his mouthpiece off, and then somebody's like, hey Lou, don't use your mouthpiece. Shaq put your mouthpiece in his ass. He said, no he didn't, and put it back in his mouth and goes out there. The bench loses it again, right?
It's hard to truly believe that your own teammate would go that far for pranks. But considering that we're talking about Shaq, the story could always take a darker turn.
So Lou gets subs out the game, and he said, Jay Rich, are they f***ing with me? What happened? I said, yo.
No!
Shaq took your mouthpiece to put it in his ass, bro. And so he took it out, and he just looked at his face. And so Matt Barnes told him, anything in your locker room, bro, it has probably been in Shaq ass. Just throw it away.
But even after retiring, the Diesel kept the antics coming. He damn near built a whole second career off his sharp tongue as an analyst on TNT. And if there's anything you know about Shaq, it's that he just can't pass up a chance to roast when the opportunity presents itself, especially over a goofy play on the court.
Oh, yeah,
that
Shaqtin' a
energy
Fool.
eventually evolved to form TNT's Shaqtin' a Fool, a segment where he clowned.
This was a good show as a kid, but now I'm older, just look, Shaqtin' a Fool. It's a whole show. You just highlight niggas that they worst moments. Everything about this nigga's humiliation ritual, bro. Shaq, the humiliation ritual,
NBA
bro.
players for their slip-ups. It was all fun and games until Shaq went too far when it came to JaVale McGee. To preface, Shaq has a thing for being overly critical about centers, often claiming that he was one of the greatest centers to exist due to his aggressive plays. So when JaVale McGee came into the league with a laid-back game and made a lot of goofy mistakes, Shaq had a field day, clowning him over and over on Shaqtin' a Fool.
Save it, JaVale. Throw it to a teammate. God, watch this.
He didn't give this nigga no breaks, bro.
Where the hell are you going?
You're in there.
Seriously, he runs back on defense and you still have the ball. Hustle back. Sub.
He says, you know what, forget basketball. I'm a volleyball player. I play volleyball now.
Although JaVale wasn't playing his best at the time, he eventually entered his prime with the Golden State Warriors, where he was scoring game-winning points. Still, Shaq didn't care and pressed even further.
Main man thought he was playing make it, take it. Come on, man. That's right. We made
What are you doing?
Come on, man. Go, JaVale. Take it out. Take it out, JaVale. Oh, yeah, my bad.
You didn't see this, Ernie?
Yep.
Yo, listen. Yeah.
Sometimes, McGee didn't even need to make a mistake on the court to appear on the show.
Gotta play basketball, but first, coffee!
Just like everyone else, Shaq had pushed to the edge. JaVale couldn't take it anymore and attacked Shaq on Twitter. Shaq, get my nuts out your mouth and eat it. Now, Shaq's pretty used to winning these kinds of fights. So when McGee made this tweet, Shaq was heated and quickly fired back. Now since you're on a good team, you want to act like you a player now. Stop it. You will only be remembered for Shaqtin a fool. #bump. From this point, things quickly escalated, with Shaq threatening to get physical with the Warrior center. I'll smack the shit out of your bum. We're gonna see how tough you are when I see you. However, JaVale couldn't take his threat serious.
That Shaq be on that, bro. That's why I don't like Shaq, cause he be on that, bro. Like he be bullying niggas. That nigga's a bully, bro. This nigga Shaq is a bully, bro. He's I'm gonna smack your bum
Urging
ass.
the Diesel to try him. Oh, are we threatening now? Kick rocks, old bird. You ain't gonna do shit, and that's on my mama. Constantly making jokes about McGee's sloppy plays from the past made it seem like Shaq was really trying to discredit his years of hard work to make it into the NBA. It was so bad that his teammate Kevin Durant would come to his defense and try to make peace between the two.
JaVale works extremely hard. He's come in here and done so much for us as a player. He only wants to be respected just like anybody else.
KD would acknowledge that Shaq's remarks might be completely valid, considering it was for entertainment, but he would also admit that it had gone too far.
And I understand that Shaq works for a company that, wants him to do that type of stuff and make fun of players. And it's cool and funny, but when you just keep doing it time and time and time again for no reason.
While KD was standing up for his teammate, Shaq would state that this wasn't his fight and doubled down. KD, mind your business. This ain't for you. I understand you sticking up for your teammate. That's cool, but your boy JaVale is still a bum. He started it, I'ma finish it. While redirecting his attack back to McGee, Shaq would post a Photoshop picture of McGee's face attached to a homeless person with a crazy caption. America, meet JaVale bum McGee. At this moment, everyone had enough of Shaq's antics, including McGee's mom, who tried to defend her son. He cyberbullied my son, totally inappropriate. Shaquille needs to lose his job.
No, mom, no, don't do that. No, I would have been like, Mom, listen, Ma, don't do that. You ain't finna have me getting clowned. He called his mama.
Would be suspended. And even Shaq's mother, Lucille O'Neal, had to step in. It's not funny anymore. Seeing the things they're saying to each other, they need to squash this and move on. While Shaq's fights with other players often grabbed the headlines, he also had a bad habit of talking down to his coaches. One of the biggest examples of this was when he played for the Miami Heat under coach Stan Van Gundy. When Shaq was traded to the Heat in 2004, his relationship with the relatively inexperienced coach at the time was initially all good and well, with Van Gundy leading the Heat all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pistons. And while Miami unfortunately lost that crucial game, Shaq immediately blamed his coach for not letting him dominate the court. I'm not making the decisions. You'll have to talk to the guy who's making the decisions out there. By December 2005, Van Gundy had resigned to focus on his family, though there were rumors that he was getting fired because of Shaq. Years later, Van Gundy moved on to Orlando, where he would mistakenly call out Shaq for flopping during a game against Dwight Howard. Further expressing that he was shocked and very disappointed that O'Neal would resort to such a tactic, Shaq would fire back with a nasty response. I heard his comment. Flopping to me is doing it more than one time. And I realized that as I tried to take the charge. As I went down, I realized that that play reminded me of his whole coaching career. Damn. Shaq's feud with Van Gundy gradually died down, but over the years, it's pretty obvious that Shaq still dislikes his former coach. During an incident between Van Gundy and Dwight, the coach made some serious private conversations public, and Shaq didn't hesitate.
Listen, man, let me know what y'all feel about Shaq. Y'all know I don't got no patience with these videos that's not that interesting. Because he said he was going to talk about the dark side. This ain't that dark. I want to hear a cold Hollywood secrets, bro. This ain't dark enough.